think we're doing it here. All right, there it is. So I'll give it 3, 2, 1. What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in to yet another episode of Drinking with Musicians. I hope the plane flying overhead isn't too loud, but that's what happens when you live near an airbase sometimes. Anyway, today in this episode, we are going to feature Evan Partridge, one of the guitarists from the amazing post-rock experience, Driftless. What's going on, Evan? Thanks for hanging out.
Yeah, dude, of course. Thanks for having me. And, it's been a good release so far. But
Good.
yeah,
Perfect Blue.
yeah. Been a long time coming, a little bit, but
Yeah.
kind of like, we just kind of figured out where we were after a while. It took, a couple of years, and it's been good though. So
Awesome.
we're mostly just hobbyists. So all three of us have like pretty big deal jobs kind of, so it's nice to like just do something on the side.
Right.
It's been working out good.
That's good, man. Yeah, it seems like that's kind of the story with a lot of post-rock guys and just ambient music in general. A lot of self-made stuff going on, self-recording, mixing, all that stuff. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, it's I think it's really encouraging because even still today, it's not uncommon to hear about how hard it is to like get in with just get in the loop musically, but there's so many people just setting up the spare room or whatever and getting some stuff in the works.
The biggest thing for like us is the two other guys with me are just fucking great. They're just really good at what they do and just trying to make it work outside of the whole like real job stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's just I don't take it for granted at all, So it's hard to find people. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. Yeah, dude. I've been trying to put something together my whole 20s, and it is yet to have happened. I mean, I've not been super active about it, but you just don't. It seems like you don't normally come across a fellow musician who really wants to, work with you, and like they actually show up and practice. It doesn't end up just being another jam session. It's like, no, let's work through these songs.
It's a little bit more than that, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll give you some backstory if you want. So I used to play in like a metal band as a vocalist with Tony, the other guitarist. We did that for like 6-7 years. It was cool and it was fun. And then we just kind of were like done with the band. And he went off to college at the same college that Grant went to, the drummer for our band now. And then just, over time, it was just, we just got together. I was just writing some like post rock stuff a little bit, but I didn't really realize I was doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Just trying to like do something different than vocals or anything. Yeah. And then, he was just like, dude, Tony was saying like, I see what you're doing or whatever. And like, Grant likes that kind of stuff. And I was like, what do you mean? And then he was just like, post rock. I was like, yeah, sounds good. Like the only other band I ever heard of that was kind of like that was This Will Destroy You, which is still like top 5 for me for sure. Oh, yeah. Even though they're kind of like, I don't know what's going on with them right now, but they've been kind of like absent, if you want to say that. That's what I would say. How we got here,
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Well, before we get too far ahead, do you have a tasty beverage for the show?
Yeah, I usually drink shit light beer, but
Yeah,
I
no
knew we were
worries.
doing this tonight, and I got like a some sort of IPA. I don't even know.
Nice.
So
Is it
here I
like
am.
a craft situation or?
Yeah, it's like a local
Nice.
Surly Brewing from here,
Okay.
Minnesota. But
Minnesota's got a lot of phenomenal breweries. I've never been up there, but
just too
where
many.
I'm at, yeah, we have a lot of people who come into the brewery on vacation from up that way, and or they move from there, and I mean they just rattle off names. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Sweet.
What do you got?
I have the best IPA I drank in 2022. It's a Goblin Noggin. It's a imperial. Yeah, I love the name. First off, it's a imperial IPA, uh, and yeah, some guy from who's a regular customer. He's from Oklahoma. He brought me a couple, and I was like, dude, that was the best IPA I had all year. And he said, oh, okay, here's four more. And he like went to his truck and he just he
Fair
has a
enough.
cooler in his truck with beers to just give to people from whenever he comes back home from seeing family. And he was like, yeah, man, just take this 4 pack. So cheers to Craig.
Absolutely, dude. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
that's cool.
not beer.
That was funny too. Like you said, like you were in Central Time Zone, and you were like,
Yeah.
I'm in Florida too," and I was like, "What?"
Hmm.
Like, and then Panhandle stuff. I was like, "What? All right,
Yeah.
that works."
Yeah, it confuses people on a regular basis because what I've found is that like if you're from the north, like past above Tennessee, and if you're to the west, probably beyond Mississippi, what you think of as Florida is like Jacksonville, Orlando, Miami. You kind of don't even remember the whole piece over here exists because there's compared
Yeah,
to those three locations, there's nothing like that. So
sure.
yeah, people tend to forget there's that piece that's it's not that far over.
Right. Yeah, Florida never been, but someday.
It's cool. I love it. I'm
Yeah,
definitely a Florida man.
yeah, there to stay.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it here. I definitely don't like how hot it gets during summer, but I mean, the beaches are amazing. There's actually some pretty decent nature walks here and there. Uh, and I don't know, it's just a cool state. People are pretty laid back down here, just generally speaking. Nice,
Nice.
easygoing. Yeah. Yeah, it's good. What's it like up in Minnesota? It's probably pretty
Don't
cold
even
right now.
don't even come here. It's just not worth it. I actually hate it here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty spent, but yeah, good job security and whatnot. But I there's nothing here long term really. But it's kind of like where me and my wife are at, and we're just gonna stay put. But yeah, I definitely don't like it at all.
Yeah.
Really, we're either hot or cold, and spring and fall are like 2 weeks a piece. That's it. It's either hot or cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So
interesting.
to put it bluntly, but yeah, it's
Yeah.
I not big on it. That's I get um Tony from the band moved away to Oregon probably like 4 or 5 years ago,
Okay.
something like that, and I totally get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you a Minnesota native or you
Yep.
ended up there
Yeah.
somehow? Okay.
No, I've
Yeah.
always been here, and what's going on there?
Yeah, it's revving that baby up, going down the dead end street.
Gotta get it. Yep.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
yeah, always been here, but every passing year I dislike it more.
yeah.
So yeah.
What would you say is it for you? Is it just the winters or just every
Um,
little piece?
yeah, there a lot of it's the winter, but
Hmm.
I do like heating and air and refrigeration and stuff. So it's like I
Okay.
said, it's good job security and whatever, and but it still sucks.
Yeah.
You know, down where you are, I think there's a lot of like attic units and like stuff on roofs and stuff that I wouldn't like as much. Um,
Hmm.
but you know, job is everything first and foremost about relocating, but
Right.
you know,
Well, yeah, you're definitely right about the attic stuff, but something kind of funny I discovered this year talking to HVAC, like a specialist. I don't remember like what his term was for his occupation, but he wasn't just a technician. He was more of working for a big company. We sent all the guys out. They can't fix it. We're gonna have you go over here for a month and start fixing stuff. And
okay.
yeah, um, and so I was asking him why are like wiring and HVAC systems down here in this area specifically are just not done right. It's like they're never done right. People cut corners all the time. And he told me what's going on is that there's these inspectors who uh, reportedly time and time again they show up to the property, they say they have like a 2-3 minute conversation with the technician and they just check all the boxes. They don't actually look at anything. They just check those boxes and call it a wrap. So there's all this stuff
Interesting.
that is just not done right. It's weird.
Yeah, well, trade work's good. Trade work's hard to get, right? I mean,
Mm,
I think it just boils down to like that.
yeah.
Um, I've worked for two companies that are like really good, so it's like, but you know, there's bad apples like more often than not, really, with trade work. I mean, in my life that I've seen, but
Yeah, that's what I see too. I mean,
right,
yeah. Yeah, it seems like with all that, I mean, whether it's you need a mechanic, you need a HVAC guy, you need somebody to come fix the fridge, somebody to come do your electrical.
yeah,
It's almost better to just wait until you randomly meet that person who is, they've got their own company, they've been doing this for 26 years, and just have fun.
yeah, yeah. I get it. Where like, so how big is your city where you're at, or town
Where
rather?
I'm
I don't know.
like population wise,
Yeah.
it's like 20,000, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you might get some of that.
Yeah.
Right. Guy that
Yeah.
knows a guy, maybe.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It is. It's a small town, and that is definitely one of the benefits. Like actually, to just today, our AC system, like, because we're at that point now in Florida where it's 40 degrees at night, 38 degrees at night, but it's 72 in the day, 74, 76, and so we'll put the AC on just to like 72, 74 in the day, and then put it on like 70 at night. And the thing has just been going nonstop. And, but it's not getting to the temperature. It's just not getting there. It's like 3 degrees off. And, and I had the wisdom to look at the projected bill with the power company. And when I saw what it for sure is right now and what the projection was, I was like, I told my wife, I said, that thing's off until the end of the cycle. We'll just
Yeah.
do double blankets at night. Like whatever. I ain't paying that much. But yeah, I went to church today, and me and the pastor were talking a little bit after church, and I just kind of mentioned that, and he's like, "Oh, if you met Tim, he's like, Tim, come over here real quick. He's like, give him your number." And well, just like that, I've got a guy coming out tomorrow to look at it.
Okay. Yeah. If you're, I don't know, you want to talk about this on an interview? I was going to ask you if you have an air handler in the attic or whatever and like troubleshoot with you, but we don't have to do that.
Well, I would, but I don't know anything about that kind of stuff. All I know is like the system is in a closet,
But it's
and then
always
there's
it's
all the
always going,
ducts
right?
upstairs. Yeah.
Whatever.
So yeah, I don't know. That thing makes some weird noises now and again too,
Yeah.
like gurgling sounds. It's weird.
So you're still actively cooling right now where you live, is what you're saying.
Say that again?
So you're actively cooling still where you live.
Yeah, yeah. In
Lucky.
the daytime.
Lucky.
Yeah, yeah. Can you believe that? Yeah, dude. I mean, we like during that Arctic freeze, we actually had what even Northerners would probably say, yeah, that's winter. But there were for like 5 days the high was 32, 36.
Well, yeah, if
Uh,
you're not set up for it, then that's pretty
exactly.
surreal.
Yeah,
You're right.
that
Yeah.
system has never seen that cold.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just back to normal now. Like I said, I mean, for basically for the next 10 days, the low is 40 something and the highest high is like 76, 77.
Nice, dude.
But yeah, yeah, the AC still is going to run a little bit during the day.
Yeah.
It's stupid. There is no winter here, not really. But that's why we love it. It's a perfect time of year to go to the beach because nobody's here. And, if it's like 77 degrees outside, you just can't beat that. You're on a beautiful, sugar sand beach, 77
Yeah.
degrees.
Oh, I get it.
That's
For sure.
perfect. And it's not crowded. That's perfect. It's amazing.
Nice, dude.
Yeah, man. Take a trip, dude. Take a trip.
Someday we will. But yeah,
Yeah.
you know.
So let's talk about music a little bit.
Yep.
Here's I've been trying to remember back, because you messaged me and that was like a memory trigger. I found Driftless probably through Spotify, I think during summer, and it was one of those deals where it was on you guys were on a playlist, whatever playlist I was, or maybe I listened to an album, and then Spotify it'll just be like, here's 28 more artists, a
Yeah.
song or two.
it can be a lot.
Yeah, yeah, and exactly that. I I don't even know what song I would have heard. Well, it would have been from um, the first album. It would have been from The Greatest Need, but I was like, that's really good. I need to listen to like a full album. And then I kind of never did because, like I said, 28 artists later, you don't even know who's who anymore.
Yeah.
But
It's a lot.
I remembered the name, and then I listened to everything. And then I saw Rob here after when he was posting his like top albums, top artists for the year, listening wise, and then I saw Perfect Blue, and I was like, oh yeah, I didn't listen to that one yet, and it's so good. Are you EP, right?
Oh, thanks, man.
Oh,
It's a 3-track thing, but we tried to like sell it
they're
as
long.
like a full length,
Yeah, yeah.
since it's like
So
over 30 minutes, but I don't know.
yeah,
But
I
yeah,
love I love it. The way the vocals is just amazing. It's so my speed. I've listened to it probably a dozen times since it came out, just because to me it's just perfect. It's a perfect album.
Thank you. Yeah, it's like I was saying earlier, it's something we like worked on a long time. It was all originally like just going to be instrumental again, and I told the guys, I was like, hey, like, what if I tried to sing over it? And then they were like, okay. And then I was awful. And yeah, I flew out to Portland for it because that's where Tony lives.
Okay.
And then Tony was like, always pretty good at singing, but never put himself out there, I guess, is the best way I can put it. And then when I failed at that, I was just like, hey, dude, do you mind like trying to sing over it? And he was just like, all right. Like, and then that's what came to be. And shout out to him. And also shout out to Rob too. He's a good
Oh
guy.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
it was an experience because it just went from like up and down, just like I said I could deliver vocals and it was just not good.
Yeah.
And you know, I swallow that. That's fine. And we were working with Will Yip at the time, just doing the instrumental part. And then for us to add vocals to it, he didn't charge us more money or anything. He's a
Nice.
super good guy to
Awesome.
work with. Yeah. But
Do you have
glad you liked it.
lyrics posted anywhere?
I think Tony put it on one of our Bandcamp ones.
Okay.
We never even put the rest out there, but we probably should. But yeah.
Well, I don't know. It's one of those where part of me wants to like read through it, but part of me wants to just never know for sure, because it's in that perfect kind of mix where the vocals are just adding to the ambience, and it's a little, just listening to it, it's a little hard to completely understand what's being sang, but it just adds to the magic of it.
Yeah, I'm kind of speaking for Tony, but I don't think he wanted to like. I think that's what you're saying. Like he just wanted to like put himself out there enough where it was just adding to like the music and not
Right.
really about like the lyrics and stuff like that. Like it was just more of like another instrument, I guess, via mouth.
Right. Yeah.
And I think that's kind of like where it's at. And I'm cool with it. So.
Yeah. I have no problem with that.
Yeah.
It's pretty. It's just really nice. Good.
Thanks. Yeah,
Kick back.
we spent a lot of time on it, like when we can outside of jobs, but we're doing all the like just long distance thing because we used to play live and stuff, and then like, you know, people move and then we just still want to make it work.
Right.
And it's been really rewarding, really, just to like come through with it.
Yeah.
You know?
Awesome.
So
yeah, it's good. I'm glad it worked out, and it's just one of those projects I feel where I think there's like a noticeable progression versus the first album, which I also love that one. But I always have this theory that like a band that goes the distance, that really makes music until they're really done, there's always that one album that it's just that's the one, that's the standalone best album. And I always just sense this kind of complete maturity as a band, and like making a comparison between Perfect Blue and The Greatest Need, I feel like that's a good step forward. It just seemed like things were just together in a really special way.
thank you. Yeah. Things were gelling. I mean, there's, I think, on Greatest Need and the new one, like we always were spending too much time just hypercritical about shit. And that's fine too. But there was just sometimes where it's just like, where is this even going? And then both albums, they came through, and we just finally just, I don't know, like hypercritical is just the word, right?
Yeah.
It's just, and like,
You want it to
again,
that's
we're not doing this for like to make a living, but it's just like we want to make sure it's good.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I know what you mean. So were you guys all together for the Greatest Need?
Mostly, like we were still like jamming in a practice space and stuff. And then I think we were just about to send off tracks, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then Tony was like, "Hey, I'm gonna move." And then like and then like me and Grant were like, "All right, well, we'll make it work." And we did. But that was right before the release. Like we were still like fine-tuning things and whatnot. And yeah. That happened. And after every album that we've ever released, and even our earlier EP, which was called Still, we had 4 members at the time. He moved to California too, so we had people moving on us.
Yeah, right, man.
Which I get it. Like I told you, Minnesota sucks.
Yeah. It's not their fault.
Right? No, it's not. But yeah, during that, and just, I don't know, we figured it out. You know, we have like a Dropbox where we just like send everything to whatever we're up to, and just get at it when you can, right?
Yeah.
It's not like a business, you know.
Right, yeah. It's a love project.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's a huge part of my life. I love it. But just when I can get to it is another story.
Yeah, right. Would you say that you have like seasons with what you do? Busier parts of the year and less busy parts of the year?
Yeah, I mean, so the drummer Grant's a firefighter, and Tony is a mechanical engineer, and then I'm doing the HVAC thing. So it's like pretty taxing, like on just like that kind of a thing. As far as like, if you're asking about like where Driftless is, like as far as like seasons, is that what you're asking?
I just mean like for you, I would just wonder with what you're doing. Like for me, I have a lawn care business, so this time of year I'm kind of just chilling for the most part with that.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, cool.
Yeah, like what for you personally? I just wonder if you have like any kind of flow in that regard, like parts of the year where I mean, that's when I can really maybe push it a little bit.
Yeah. Probably a little bit right now, since we do residential and commercial. For me personally speaking, it's when residential's dead kind of right now, because everybody already called in like November and December and whatever. We got that done, right?
Okay. Right.
But the commercial side of things is different because we handle all the Chipotle's in our area and like all the Jersey Mike subs and stuff like that, grocery stores, and refrigeration doesn't stop year round.
Right.
So
Yeah.
there's still always that. But that's where I tend to be like winter, like late winter and like early, those like 2 weeks of spring that I mentioned earlier. That's where it can be cool to like unwind a little bit. And like start to like think about music a little bit more, and where I feel better about it. And just things come to me because I have no fucking time to like fucking do anything
Yeah.
other than that.
Yeah.
But
Exactly.
yeah, no, it's good. I need that, you know.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's something that I'm really looking forward to when my business gets to a point where I'm doing it full time. Because I'm probably just gonna stick to lawn care. I really deal with landscaping.
Sure, whatever. When's your
So
chilling time?
when's my chilling time?
Yeah. Like as far as
Right.
seasons go.
As far as seasons go, I mean the season technically begins in March. It definitely begins in May. And then, October, grass will still grow a little bit. People will start wanting hedge trimming. October, November, leaves start to fall like rain. So you get some of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like basically by the time the business is to a point where this is what I do, I'll pretty much be I'll go from like working full time or more to I might do 10, 20 hours a month of work for November through February.
Just getting by, right?
Yeah, just well, not even that, but just odd jobs basically, just kind of random.
Well, that's what I mean. I mean, it's just
Mm-hmm.
like blue collar world where it's just
Yeah,
you get what you can get. You know, the previous company I was with, it was not commercial at all, so you didn't have any of that. So you were just doing shit jobs. Like you were just
yeah,
doing just garbage just to get by. And that's what I don't miss, you know.
right.
But same
Yeah, the
difference.
last lawn care company I worked for, the guy I knew bought the company. It was perfectly fine. It was a well-oiled machine, plenty of customers the whole time. I'm like, dude, we got a perfect opportunity here. You know, we just get a handful more customers. You're good, and basically 4 months a year, we'll just pretty much screw off the whole time. You can do all your side stuff. I can do my side stuff. And we ended up doing these ridiculous like yard clear outs that would exhaust you on a Wednesday that then you got to make up for all the mowing jobs you didn't do Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And it's just crazy
Yeah,
exhausting work. And the whole time I'm
I get
just,
that.
why are we doing this, man? This doesn't make any sense. And so yeah, I'm building a company slowly but surely that will, like the guy who originally owned that one I worked for, um, he'd you wouldn't see him for 3 months a year, but he'd pay himself out like 60 grand a year, whatever he was doing every month, and 4 months a year, same paycheck to kind of go on vacations, go hit the slopes, get on the snowboard a little bit. Oh, we haven't been to we've never been to Chicago. Let's go check out Chicago. What's that place like? Just stuff like that. That's what I
Okay.
look forward to. Yeah.
Well,
And then, maybe one of these days I can get my musical act together and start getting a little more legit myself, but
so what do you do?
we'll see. Yeah.
What do you do? What do you play?
I do guitar and vocals.
Yeah. Just like solo shit or what?
Yeah, it's just me. I've got like 20 of my own songs that I've been working on since I don't know 17 or so, since I was about
Okay.
17. But it's just been cool to realize the progression from me being on a acoustic guitar to to just being like, how can I play these songs but transition between them on the acoustic guitar in a explosions in the sky type of way, and then going through that and saying, oh, that was really interesting. What if I did that on the electric guitar? What if I got this pedal? What if I started using delays and a ton of feedback and all that stuff you just start messing around
Yeah.
with. And I've got like my singer-songwriter version of all my songs, and I've got my what I call ambient folk version of all those same songs.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm pretty proud of it overall. Needs work still, but
yeah, what doesn't? Um, yeah, no, that's cool. So you just trying to like stay like solo with that crap, or like are you just like trying to
oh
just?
man, no, not really. I would love to
It's
have,
just hard to find these people.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
especially around here because there's just not much music opportunity around here. If you want to play at bars, like I
Yeah.
mean, you just shoot a flare in the sky and they'll call you. but
Oh, that's funny.
but but then the problem with that is bars, breweries, restaurants. They're not the people aren't there for you, right? They're there to hang out with their friends, catch up with somebody they hadn't seen in a while. They're there to just drink some beer on a Friday night or whatever.
Right.
They're there
Yeah.
to watch the football game on the TV that's literally above your head.
Oh
And
yeah. Damn.
they're just not there for you. And so,
Yeah.
you know, they tell
Trust
you you
me.
got to tone it down and not play loud. And I'm like, why am I even here? I don't really play music that you. I mean, it's good. It's good background noise, I suppose. But like, I mean, if I wanted to play for people who didn't really want to listen, I would just do what everybody else does, and I'd learn a bunch of
Dude,
covers.
I mean, I've had my fair share of like really bad turnout shows, trust me. Whether it's Driftless or the previous hardcore band, and it's never a good feeling. But
Yeah,
what do you do? I mean, at that point.
right.
But yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
get
mean
the
that's what.
struggle.
If nothing else, it keeps me warm. At least it keeps me honest musically. Kind of just keeps me practicing for the eventual day where maybe I do something for real to some degree.
It's never too late.
So
How old are you?
I'm only 28, so plenty of time.
Okay, nice,
Yeah.
good, good. Well, I don't know. Gotta start somewhere. It's the
Right.
fucking whole thing. That's why
Yeah.
I was mentioning earlier. It's good to like know people, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and feel fortunate for that. But um, yeah, I get the whole like playing for bars and shit, and they're not trying to see you kind of thing. Been there
Right.
for sure.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah, it sucks. I mean, I still love it. I still always have a good time. But it's just there's that point where I'm 3 songs in and I'm just fighting the urge to tell everybody to shut up and or just leave. Like
Yeah.
I'm playing tonight. Get out of here.
I'm playing
And
tonight.
then I just kind of keep going. I keep going, and 2 songs
Yeah.
after that, I'm settled in, and I'm just like, "We're here. Let's play some music.
Right.
Just relax."
Gotcha on that, dude.
Yeah.
It's almost actually that's kind of like I actually enjoy just making stuff on the computer and just like doing this whole files thing. And
Yeah.
I've grown accustomed to it, but I learned that I don't even like playing live anymore. You know, I had enough of that. Whether they're
Mhm.
good shows, bad shows, or in the middle.
Okay.
Um, I just I'm cool with like where it's at for me. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's not a bad deal either these days because like playing live is always it's all. I mean, I guess I shouldn't say always. There are also horror stories too, but pretty much
Yeah.
always like you have a good time. You get settled in, you have a good time anyway, even if it's even if there's a football game on top of your head playing. But but there's definitely this really cool thing about all this software available today, and just how easy it is to set up a little studio in the corner of a room.
Yeah.
Like you can just jam
Yeah.
as hard as you feel like, and and you can just go for it, and see what you can figure out, and then you can listen back to it, and it's just the music. It's not like, hey man, here's my phone, take a video so I can post it on Instagram, and then you record
Yeah.
it, you download it, and it's like, oh cool, I can hear Betty talking about how much she hates her stepfather over there. Like whatever.
Yeah. No, yeah, there is that. Yeah, dude. It's just, I don't know. I know Grant from the band that plays drums stuff. He likes playing, he misses live more.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't, unless I check, Tony doesn't.
Yeah.
But I get that because like everyone's different. Like everyone, they need something from music, right? So, but that's kind of where we're at. It's a
Right.
lot in life, you know.
So perhaps maybe not live shows in the future anytime.
I'm open to it, but I don't know how it's gonna work.
Yeah, I feel like that
You
would be
want to
the
tell me?
biggest thing with the spread right now.
If you tell me how that works, I mean, I'm down.
Well, I can't. I'm
Right?
definitely not the guy. But
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I'm. You know, I don't miss it that much.
Yeah.
I like making cool stuff, like with
Hmm.
the dudes and just from the computer, I guess, for me.
Yeah.
But being that he's a drummer, it's like feel like gypped. Because like people with guitars do whatever, you know, headphones
Right.
on, headphones, whatever, any day,
Hmm.
any time of the day.
Right. Yeah.
You can, and just like, you know, programming drums, that's not fair. I mean, so I get that, you know.
Yeah, that's a good point. As a guitarist, you can also be a drummer now and never even pick up a stick.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you can like be a hack and like just kind of like, you know, but um I get
Just
that
use a
point.
drum machine. Just push some buttons.
Ah,
There you go. Current
oh,
joys. That's how they do it. Well, he did it.
who's that?
Um. So current joys is Nick Radigan. It's probably my favorite musician of all time at this point. Although check back in a while, I hadn't really thought that through enough. That's a bold statement. But anyway, he he's a phenomenal drummer and learned to play guitar probably for exactly the reason you just said. I listened to him in an interview talk about it, but it was something along those lines where it was um, like just being a guitarist seems to make things easier.
I
So
don't disagree.
yeah, so
Yeah.
he learned power chords and just simple stuff, and he just became a guitarist. Not anybody that you'd ever be like, oh, that's that guy. You better watch out for him. He's coming for the whole market. Just a fine guitarist, and he started Current Joys, which is I don't know if they and Surf Curse. I don't know if they really fall in the realm of beach rock, but it's somebody told me what it was recently, but it's along those lines. And yeah, both of those bands are just I love them. They're not like post rock. They're
Have you like interviewed any one of them?
Oh, I wish those guys are
Oh,
famous.
okay. I don't know.
Yeah,
God.
him especially. Yeah, yeah. I've pissing in the wind. I've sent him a message a couple times on Instagram, knowing he wouldn't even see it at the stage he's in by now. But it's
It's that
just,
big.
I don't know. You never know. Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did that. Like, I sent explosions in the sky a message. I sent this will destroy you a message, and I'm just like,
Yeah, well, whatever.
they're not even gonna see this. I know this fact, but why not?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Whatever. I mean, it's a whole deal. I mean, bring it back
Mhm.
to like us. We just emailed Will Yip, will you do this? And then he said, yeah.
Right. That's kind of how things go
it's like what?
sometimes.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
I'll take that. So why not just shoot at shit, right?
Yeah. Right.
I
Well,
get
I mean, honestly, yeah, that's kind of how this show started because it's originally was called Beer Reviews, and for a year,
it.
I just I would just like if this were just a beer review episode in the early days, this would be an 8-10 minute video of me talking about how good this beer is, telling you what tasting notes I get, all that kind of stuff. And eventually I thought it'd be cool to have guests on. Long story short, I played around with that idea and I reached out to Brian Frameth, who's a guitarist for, well, don't blank now. This is a big moment. He's a guitarist for, what did they do? This is what happens when there's just music at every corner you turn. Every band is just like,
What's the name?
uh, um, they just did that album, Drift Abyss.
Driving Slow Motion.
Yeah, Driving Slow Motion. That's the one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna edit all that out. I could never let him see that. But there's no way I'm
No,
gonna ever
they're
let that
cool.
be on the internet.
No, yeah, I'm in that Slack group where there's a lot of people that you've interviewed. So
Yeah,
that
yeah.
when you
There's a
said that rang a bell.
yeah. Well, you saved me. Thank you. Yeah,
Gotcha.
Driving Slow Motion. Yeah, same. But yeah, same kind of thing. I was like, "Hey, will you do this?" And he said yes, and now here we are. It's got its own show, and
Yeah,
I
no,
think
it's cool.
this is officially episode 7. So it's pretty cool.
Nice. Yeah, dude,
Pretty
I think it's cool. Um,
sweet, man.
had some cool people on. Like when I noticed that you had like Rob and
Yeah,
dude from Secret Gardens, can't remember his first name.
yeah. Greg.
Stuff like that. Yeah.
Mhm.
Super good fucking musicians for
I
sure.
know, man. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's good company, right?
Real
I'll
good
take
company.
that.
Yeah, man.
But
So I was wondering what pedals you're into.
I don't use pedals.
Really? That's pretty badass, actually.
Not really. I think people fucking hate it, but I use Line 6 like pod
Oh,
stuff.
okay.
And
hmm
then last time I checked, I don't know what Tony uses, but he used to use Line 6 stuff. But I don't think he does anymore. It's just kind of like a similar device.
Yeah.
But I realized if I was gonna get pod or pedals,
hmm
I would spend so much money. Like I think I would
that's
spend
that's the
so much
problem with
money.
pedals.
That because I have an addictive personality and I would I would want to keep going.
Yeah.
So I just bought one hub where I can get anything I want and I can manipulate it for
hmm
tones and I'm good. Because
Yeah.
honestly, there's a lot of pedals that are cool.
There's too many pedals that are cool.
Yeah. Do you use
That yeah,
pedals?
that's the problem with pedals. You hear one and you want it, and then you hear somebody playing this other pedal, and then you want that, and you're like,
Do you use
"That's $50.
pedals?
That's 115. That's 60. Where's this gonna end?" Yeah, I use pedals, but I am not really in a financial position in life right now to spend money on something like that. Knowing that like all I can really do, I've got to move this back. We're getting a little baby shower here. Gotta move this under some protection. Getting just a little sprinkle. It's a nice little Florida sprinkle. But
It's not snow.
It's not snow, which that's fine with me. I guess this is better than months of snow just piling up. But yeah, I have pedals. I have bought like one of them, and my wife's brother is kind of just letting me long term borrow the others that I use, because this year I started playing shows again, and I really wanted to not just be acoustic. I really wanted to try my stuff out on the electric guitar with the pedals and just make it the same songs but a lot more ambient, put my, I guess, post-rock experience influence into it. So yeah, I've been using like the flashback pedal, which is a delay feedback pedal that's got, I don't know, like 10 different tone settings on it. And then whatever like the Altoid pedals are, where somebody just throws a few wires in an old Altoid can.
Oh, that's me.
Yeah. And it's super, super crunchy, just dirty distortion. Which actually pairs really well with the really ambient setting, like the lo-fi ambient setting I use on the flashback.
I feel like I am missing out, like not doing the pedal thing, but and like I think more people often than not use pedals compared to like what I'm talking about, like you're like doing like line 6 or axe effects or shit like that. I do feel like I'm kind of missing out, but at the same time I think I'm good. Like I don't, if it's not broke, don't fix it kind of a thing. Like
Right.
just, I have a repetition with writing, and I don't want to change. I don't like change. I'm old. So
yeah, just stick to it. Well, I mean, obviously, me speaking here, but obviously it is working. So I don't know why. If you've been doing that, seems to be working out just fine. I don't think there's any, like, indignity to not having to not having 8 different pedals on a board.
Yeah, it seems fun.
Music, man.
Though,
do what you want.
Right. It's like some of that FOMO where it's just like,
yeah,
that does like seem fun to like get a collection and kind of like mess around, but at the same time I don't really like care. But I do recognize that it's cool. I do think it's cool.
Yeah. I mean, the most fun thing about it is like when, to me, you're doing the quiet part of the song, and then you strum that last note. There's this epic pause, and then you push that button, and you just comment.
I get you. No, I get it. And when we were first a band, like when there were 4 of us, and we used to have 3 guitarists, and then just would backtrack bass. Danny was a pedal guy, and then he would always just like have that luxury of just like doing that kind of stuff, as far as just like collecting and then like messing with them, or like messing with the dials too, and like just all that shit that like seems kind of cool. And then like me with like a line 6 like pedal board, not the Helix but the one before it, the Pod HD. There's some stomping going on, but it's not the same thing, right? I probably got too into it, but yeah, it's I don't know. That's just it's a lot of money just to like
Yeah.
do all that. But
If
I
I
think
had
it's
the
cool.
pedal board I wanted, I don't know how many hundreds of dollars it would take, but I don't have it. I mean,
Dude, here's the other thing too, is like since our release, there was like a pedal shop here in Minneapolis, or might have been St. Paul, and they were like, wow, I really like your stuff. And I was just, wow, I didn't realize like you were based from here. And I was like, you guys should come in and do like an episode, and
nice.
we could do like some video stuff. And I was just like,
Yeah.
I'm a pod guy. So
Yeah. But
I
wait,
might just wing it. I don't know, but
hey, that's cool.
I thought that was flattering. But
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. Awesome.
I was like, yeah, we're like not pedal guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I appreciate that. It's just you're not gonna like what we're working with from a
I'm
business
just gonna like
standpoint.
just baby step in front of him, just
Yeah.
like kind of like just figure out what the fuck I'm doing. Yeah, I don't know.
How did it work out having three guitarists in a band? Was that
I know.
ever
Well,
inconvenient, to put it
no,
nicely?
no. It was great.
It seems.
Because well, because the three of us, rather than just doing backtracking layers, we actually had just parts, and it was
Mhm.
like cool. And that was only a first EP thing, and then like I said, he moved to California, but it worked really well actually. And I think Explosions is like that.
Yeah. I was gonna
You,
mention that. I was gonna
you
see if you
know,
were into them as much as
I'm
like.
not. I don't
Oh yeah,
actually
you're not a huge fan.
not a huge fan, but I respect
I
them, of
get that.
course. But I'm just, you know, they're a little too not going, you know, not a lot going on for me.
Yeah,
Um,
I feel that. I know I love those guys, but I know what people mean who don't. I see it's just
Thank
some
you,
like
because a lot of people are like, you're an asshole, and it's like, no.
no, that's ridiculous. Well, they're like I mean, they're like any classic rock band. They're like AC/DC, they're like Aerosmith, but in this genre. They have such a cult following. There's too many there's a lot of people out there where you just say
Yeah,
one bad comment and
they
it's
just
the
don't
fight
do anything for
coming
me, you
on.
know.
Yeah.
I, but I like respect them, but it's like they don't do anything for me really. You know,
Mhm.
I got my OG like post rock bands that I love like big time, and people don't like them either, and that's fine. You know,
Who's on that list?
well, this will destroy you.
Obviously.
Um,
How could they
er,
not be
er,
on the list?
yeah, early Godspeed
Hmm.
is up there for me. Um, I guess given their age, I guess I'd put Hammock in there.
Yeah.
I guess, you know, that's kind of like, you know. But other than that, I don't know. I actually don't really like listening to post rock at all
Yeah.
for the most part. Yeah, just to keep it fresh.
Hmm.
I like listening to other stuff.
Yeah, well, I mean, dude, yeah, so how far would you say the branches go for you musically? Like what are some other genres you're really into?
I love piano stuff. I love stuff like Alluvium, if you've heard of him.
Yeah.
And you know, his project with an Explosions musician, Inventions, is really good. Um, yeah, I really like subtle like piano stuff, and like that kind of a thing where it feels like it's dragging on forever, because it is.
Yeah.
I like that stuff. And other than that, um, my wife's got me into like this artist called Remy Wolf.
That's
She's
a familiar name.
she's amazing, really good singer. Umi and like a lot of singing centric like type of stuff that I like took. I didn't really listen to it for that. It's been like a decade and I didn't like do that. So now that's like new for me. I'm listening to that stuff and it sounds like fresh to me. It's probably not though, but right? You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's not new. It's just new to your ears.
Yeah. Like another one is like Hail Laker, really good like duo that does just like singing stuff. Stuff because usually before this, like when we're talking about that last decade, I was listening to a lot. It was either like post rock, really chill stuff, just quiet stuff, like, and also like I'll throw Bal Murray in there as far as like piano, and then really aggressive stuff like Artificial Brain, Contortionist. I really
love
like. Yeah.
They're so good.
Yeah. A lot of like metal stuff. Because
Yeah.
we used to be in a metal band and that's what we liked.
Mm-hmm.
But
when
now
was that? Was that in the like the golden era, like 2008, 2014?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were in a band called
Everybody
To
was a metal band
Release.
back then.
We were in a band called To Release, and we were really good friends with like the promoter there, Bobby, and he let us play with like Volume's counterparts. And we actually, the old bassist sold weed to like contortionist people, shit like that. It was like high times living, right?
Yeah,
It
right.
was really cool,
Good
like
old days.
just getting opportunities to like play with these people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love that, all that stuff that you're probably thinking about. I definitely listened to it, like era stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
like
awesome.
Impending Doom is good too.
They're probably my all-time favorite of heavy music. Those guys are so
really. Oh my god!
I
Yeah,
tried to get Brooke Reeves and David Sitting on the show, and I was this close, but I think I caught them a little too late because they've been like trying to get this Temple of Doom thing going on, with their new studio.
I don't know. I just know
Yeah,
that
so they
Nailed Dead Risen and Serpent were
yeah.
really good
Oh yeah.
CDs. And also Misery Signals we played with. Just good bands,
Mm-hmm.
that like you said earlier, like it was like a prime time of like that kind of stuff.
It was one of those weird kind of, not necessarily rise and fall, but more like rise and stagnate, because you had you had Impending Doom, For Today, The Chariot. There was like 100th.
Chariot was really good.
Oh yeah, I got to go to their last concert in.
Lucky.
Yeah, it was wild. It was a good night. And all those guys and whatever, dude. Plenty of others. There was just so many. There were just so many, and then they all either broke up at about the same time or took a break all at about the same time. And there's some bands from like after basically 2014 that came in onto the scene that I kind of like them, but just seems like nobody was like those guys. Nobody today is
Impending Doom you're talking?
Well, yeah, but I mean everybody else too. I haven't come across the newer bands who just make me think like, oh, that just brings me back. Just smash mouth heavy metal music. Just run it up the gut metal music.
one band that made me think really differently about like stuff was Deaf Heaven.
I don't know them.
They They their new Bermuda CD, and then the one they did after that was like, holy shit, these guys are like, that's the different you're looking for. You know, that's the for me anyway. I thought that was like anything I haven't heard anything like that.
Yeah.
I got sucked in. Pretty good. Good shit.
Who is that again?
Death Heaven.
Deaf Heaven?
All one word, yeah.
Okay. I'll have to check that out.
It's more like black metal-y sometimes, but sometimes they do some shoegaze shit and you're like, what the fuck? And then and then sometimes it's really post-rocky. And like I know that you were saying earlier that you like post-rock a lot. So and you have a heavy background, so maybe something you might like, but
just based off what you just said, heavy, shoegaze, a little post-rocky. It's pretty hard to beat for me.
Well, I mean, when I've looked online and stuff like that, it's either you like them or you don't. You know, you're either in one camp or the other with them. They're like too controversial, right?
Yeah, right.
Apparently, that's how they are.
They're too original.
I think they're cool.
Stay away from them.
They kind of are, yeah. But they're good shit.
I was also wondering, let's do, I guess, as a band, Driftless the band. What would you say are the music influences?
Speaking for me and Grant, probably what I just said, Death Heaven, and then as a whole, like probably. Are you familiar with Misery Signals? Probably.
Yeah.
Yep, them and definitely Hammock.
Nice.
Yeah. And I'd say lastly, probably This Will Destroy You.
Yeah.
Like that's just the whole shoegaze vocals that came in, like I said, was an accident earlier. But I know like those two like Nothing More Than Me, if you're familiar with them. Nothing.
No. I don't
They do those kind of like those vocals you can't hear what they're fucking saying.
Yeah, okay.
And then Whirr, WHIRR.
Okay.
Same thing. It's the same thing where it's just like you can't hear what they're saying. It's like an instrument, right?
Right, yeah.
That's why it works.
Exactly. Yeah,
so that's probably a big top 5.
I'm really, that was never really something I thought about, like coming up to this point in just my listening tastes, I guess you would say. But like Rob recommended I listen to the Shoegazy 100th album. And that was probably my first like legit exposure to that type of vocal work. And I thought it was amazing. And I love hearing stuff like that now. Because like I said earlier, it just adds this almost like magical element to the song. It's so cool.
It is cool. Yeah, it really is. I will say, like, if you're digging that, and also like our CD, I'm definitely thinking that you'll like that Whirr album that I'm talking about. Their last one ever. It's really good.
Okay. Yeah,
I definitely like. I can actually probably guarantee that you would like it.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. I'll take a look at that. It's up there. It's good. It's kind of like that shoegaze revival everyone talks about, but that 100th CD was really good.
Yeah,
really good shit.
Have you ever been able to see This Will Destroy You live?
Yeah, like 3 times.
Nice.
Yeah,
they're so good live. I mean,
they're all about it, dude. They're all to business, you know.
Yeah,
they're really fucking good. Even during like their I didn't really enjoy like their recent stuff, but they still played it really well. and they still put on like a really good show, if that makes sense, because it's not like the OG stuff for me.
It's very different. Not really sure how to describe it in comparison, but yeah, it's not, quiet. Like
No, and I like that they did like the push beat part or whatever, and like it was like kind of experimental sometimes.
exactly.
Um, but it was just like, since I'm such a fucking diehard for them, that I was just like, I wasn't gonna say I'm disappointed, but it was just not like the same like band. But
Hmm.
I still really liked how they were playing live. I was like, they're still putting on a good show.
Oh yeah.
They were
Yeah, I
killing
got
it.
to see them in Atlanta right after they did that double release.
That's what I'm talking about.
Right, yeah. And dude, oh, that show was it blew me away. They were when they were playing can't remember which song. I want to say it's Provoke from the album with like the ambulance on the cover,
Perhaps, yeah. That seems right.
where it's just super quiet for like 3 minutes straight, and then that kick drum
Yeah,
comes in, and it's just
yeah, dude, I love them.
oh, that song is so good. But yeah, they were playing that song, and when they came in hot and heavy, halfway through, those fog machines went off, dude. Like I couldn't
Yeah,
see the guy, three guys in front of me. Like I could not see them on the stage,
they had
and
their ducks in a row.
it was a wild experience. It was
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, such
They're
a
cool.
good.
The first time I saw them was um it was the good album, Another Language,
Mm-hmm.
and I was there with Tony at the time. I didn't even know Grant, but he was there too, and he was drunk. It was funny. Um, but it was just like we were all just enjoying like the same thing,
Yeah,
you know. No,
it's
it's
so
just like
special.
okay. It
Yeah.
was at a very like really good venue, Varsity Theater in Minneapolis, which is fucking their sound is so good. Um, but it was just good shit. I mean, yeah, they bring it every time. Whether
Hmm.
like I said, like that double album that they last left us with,
Yeah.
they still put on that really good show.
Hmm.
That's what I think is fucking sick about them. And there's always that fucking guy that's in the band that's sitting in the chair and he's doing his
Yeah.
thing
Right.
and he's really good at doing that in the chair. And then the other guy, he looks like he's strumming forever and he
Hmm.
never stops the whole time. What is
Exactly.
that? What is
I
that?
know. Like, what are you even doing?
What are you
I don't
doing?
know,
But
but
it sounds amazing.
yeah, yeah. That's so funny. Like, I had never seen that before. Watching YouTube videos, I was like, this guy's just sitting on his amp the whole time.
He's
This
he's
guy's just
sitting,
sitting on a chair in this video. What is he doing?
but he's good.
But
Yeah.
he's so good, and he just sits down and just
That's why they're like always going to be like top 10 for me. Just,
hmm.
I mean, they got me into this shit and it's been
Yeah.
good. I mean, Driftless has been great. I love it. So,
Hmm.
you know,
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Um, I'd like to just mention at least a little bit from the first album because we've talked about Perfect Blue a lot. Um, I don't know, just I guess what's kind of the story if you could attach a story to it, I guess. Like what would be the story behind The Greatest Need? Because that's a
greatest need.
really like interesting title, and then you know um,
Yeah.
all the
Yeah.
song names themselves have some it's interesting names. It just seems like everything about it there's something that was going on there.
Yeah, there was. First, you know, we were just, we were again toiling over this album for like fucking a year and a half.
Hmm.
And by the time we were really going to come out with it, that was this, we released it the same month that we thought like COVID was going to be a big ass deal.
Yeah.
Like, so that's why we gave it away for free and stuff. We were just like, can we just like send shit to who? Um, World Health Organization, stuff like that. And I don't know. Like, as far as like titles on there, I don't think there's like a lot of like, none of it was like substantial to like even comment on. Besides, ever it was like my grandpa's actual name, who died the year before. That was the only thing that was like substantial about it, or like credible to at least like bring up. The other ones are, it was just like, what do you want to call this?
Yeah.
And we were like, yeah, burden, nothing, shit like that. We were just like, whatever, right? We're not porcelain.
No, we're not philosophers here. We're just
yeah,
trying to
not really.
out there.
all three of us were not like good at like naming stuff. Even though I thought like Perfect Blue title stuff sounded better, but we were just throwing like fucking single word stuff, just throwing shit at walls to see what sticks.
Yeah, right.
And then, like I said, it was like March 20th maybe or something. Same deal like when COVID dropped, like NBA was like, get the fuck out of here, like the whole thing. I think that's, it was just nothing to be like read into about like the song titles. But the album title, I guess what you're getting at, does make sense. And that's when we called it The Greatest Need, when we decided to like just do it for free. And we had like no following. So, but yeah. Again, hobby.
Yeah.
I
like it. That's cool though. That's pretty
Thanks.
sweet. Yeah, man. My definitely my favorite two songs off of that album are Willing and Nothing. Those first two. They really caught my attention going into listening to the whole album. For sure.
Thanks. I did like it. Just didn't really go anywhere because that's our fault. We didn't like, we're shit at like promoting ourselves, but we're like trying to be different this time.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's like ads or like just more content,
Yeah.
But
just slow and steady approach.
Yeah, I don't want to promise too much and then not think that we're like dead in the water. There's like that fine line. But
right.
After Greatest Need, we were like definitely like not doing anything for a while, and definitely didn't post or anything. We didn't do anything to like help ourselves, but just trying to make it better.
Yeah. Well, hey, I mean, jobs, family, and whatnot.
Right.
Sometimes all you can do is what you can do.
Right.
But hey, man, the music's still awesome, and I can't wait for more. Whenever it's possible, I'm definitely ready for some more Driftless.
All right, man. Well, thank you.
No problem, dude. Do you think there's anything potentially in the works anytime soon, or we'll see what's going on with that?
For me personally, I'm like doing some piano stuff.
Okay.
With the same guy that records our drums.
Nice.
I got a good vibe with him. He's super cool. Zach Zern, Carpet Booth Studios in Rochester, Minnesota. Other than that, I'm kind of just doing some stuff with, I don't know, just picking up the guitar and just seeing where that goes, that kind of thing, but nothing notable to really talk about.
Yeah, because you're doing your own thing too, aren't you?
A little bit, but my main page is probably just more so about like that piano stuff, or like in doing strings along with it. It's not guitar-y or anything, it's going to be more like modern classical, Balmeret, Alluvium, stuff like that. That's what I'm trying to do. We'll see how it goes, but that's my thought. And then like as far as like me like playing guitar and stuff, it's pretty much just Driftless. Like see where that goes too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
I really enjoyed the that single you put on Bandcamp that you have linked with your page. I
Oh,
really like
really?
that. Yeah.
Well,
Was it
thanks.
forecasting?
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
just like dipping my toe in, kind of, and then like Tony helped me on that. He did some of those strings because he has a nice rig that he can like do that on. It's cool. I'm just trying to like figure it out. You know,
Hmm.
I haven't done this before.
Yeah.
So I have a baby grand piano that I play all the time, but I don't mic it up ever. I just, I have an iMac here that I'm looking at. And I used to have a laptop and mic it up and like try to do stuff with it. But um, overall, I'm just trying to just do like some demos out there, like audio recording or whatever, with no mics. And me and Zach from Carpet Booth have a good enough vibe where we can go off that and like just figure that out.
Okay.
Because I like using the iMac way more than I've ever imagined.
Hmm.
It was a big investment, but goodbye.
Yeah. It seems like if you're a musician or a student, iMac is the way to go.
It's really cool. I really
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah. It's just so, I don't know. I want one. I had one. I wore it out. It's done. It's basically fried. It costs more to fix it than, why not just get a newer one? But yeah, I remember like the early days, like in my early 20s, I would just like somebody at college had the snowball, if you ever remember those. It
Oh
was
yeah.
just a sphere mic. Yeah, you just plug that baby into the USB port
Yep.
and garage band it up, and it was actually, it was
And it
not half.
worked.
Yeah.
Right.
But now I've got a HP, I've got a Dell, and I don't even want to think about doing anything with music on this on this
Yeah.
computer.
I
Yeah.
get you, dude.
Hmm.
Back when I was recording two vocal mics on my baby grand piano, it's a Chickering, and it was great. My laptop was like doing great, and all of a sudden it just died.
Uh,
And I have still good quality like snippets from it, but it was just, it's upsetting. But
yeah, yeah, right.
that's why I like balled out and like I was just like, I'm just gonna get an iMac. I
Hmm.
don't care anymore about that stuff.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. It's just the best. It's just the best for what you're doing for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, man, do you want to talk about anything else? Any shout outs? Want to wrap this up?
Any shout outs. I don't know. Like again, shout out to my band.
Absolutely.
Um, shout out to you for having me.
Of course.
Also, you've had a lot of the Slack people on before that super super good musicians. Um, other than that, I'll just keep on keeping on, just like you are.
Yeah. Awesome, man.
Right?
That's all we can do, Just
Don't come to
chip away
Minnesota.
these days until something happens. And every
Dude,
once in a
take
while,
care.
something. Yeah.
All
Awesome,
right.
man. I appreciate you coming on. Thanks for doing this. We'll definitely have to do another one anytime something else comes out for
Yeah,
Driftless,
dude.
or if you ever do a project, I'd love to have you back on.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
Of course, man.
All right,
All right.
deuces.
Deuces. Have a good one.